actually hear it this time. That was short. Hey,
wait,
what's up, guys? Oh, I like the new layout. I like that a lot better, actually.
Ooh, that's big. Wow, shit.
Yeah. Oh, what's going on, Jimmy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Welcome to fucking Something Stoney, the only show that is not as good as the other shows you watch. But you know what? That's okay, because you know what, dude? That's how we fucking do it here. How's your week been?
It's been pretty good, man. I've been I'm gonna get super high tonight. That's my goal.
I am too. Should we promote what we're doing now?
You know what? Let's save it. Let's save it for mid-show, because let's bring our guest on. I mean, we have some special today on Something Stoney. We have a very special guest, and I hear him in the background here. We're going to bring on Nick Jarecki, who is a wonderful director who I've actually reviewed both two of his films, and he has a film right now playing Crisis. It's about the opioid crisis that's going on in this country, all over the world. I highly recommend the film. Hey, Nick, welcome to our show, man.
Hello.
Hello.
There it is.
Oh, how you doing? Something Stoney is afoot.
Yeah, Something Stoney, man.
That is a miss. There you go.
Here's the thing, though. I like that hat. Let's give your friend a plug, because that was a pretty cool hat.
Okay, well, this is I got a bunch of them here. This is Vula Duval, who's the maker of Unstoppable. So I got the black red, and then could go with the green red.
Ooh.
Or if you really want to get wild style, you go this style.
I like that.
Ooh, I like that.
This is so weird because it's like a delayed reaction. So I feel like I'm already doing Something Stoney.
Yeah, well, that's what the show is, man. We're just
that's what it's all about. It's gonna get worse as the show goes on.
Yeah, we get higher and higher as the show goes on. So luckily, you're going to join us for the first 30, 45 minutes of the show, and we're happy to have you. Look, man,
we out here.
I gotta tell you, dude. I watched the movie. I watched Crisis. And after you would approach me, and I'm really impressed with this film. I like your work a lot. I like what you do. How fucking important is this story right now? Ironically, we're talking about the opioid crisis on the show where we get high, but marijuana is different. So let's just get that right there. But
well, actually, interestingly, I did a lot of research for this movie, but one of the treatments for opioid abuse and withdrawal actually is CBD. And they're doing a ton of research into that. At Johns Hopkins and real accredited, not Dr. Wiaya. So it's sort of
Dr. Drew,
actually, not Dr. Drew, or Dr. Phil. Catch me outside.
Yeah, she's a millionaire. How about that?
Yeah, have you been on the Bad Baby in OnlyFans? Are you one of those sick perverts like me?
No,
I
wasn't one of those dudes that was like, finally, like
another 6 hours. It's like, let me check my Dogecoin or Bad Baby.
Yeah, right.
No, we're in a freewheeling. I don't know how to be except freewheeling here on Something Stoney. But the movie is all about the opioid epidemic. And it's a thriller told from three different perspectives, much like, 21 Grams or Babel, Traffic, Crash, this style movie. Armie Hammer plays a not cannibalistic, but DEA agent in this movie. And he's undercover. And I actually make an appearance as his partner in a few scenes, which is a questionable casting decision. Gary Oldman, you may know him from the Oscars. He plays Dr. Tyrone Brower, who is a university scientist who moonlights as a drug researcher for Big Pharma. And Evangeline Lilly, who is a wonderful actress and plays an architect recovering from an oxycodone addiction who goes to look for her missing son. And so these three stories kind of converge, collide, very much in the tradition of LA Confidential, one of these type of intersecting plot movies. Obviously you guys know movies, so they started with Robert Oldman, and perhaps precursors to that even in the classic Hollywood system. But we really look at the abuses of corporations, and we have a wonderful supporting cast: Michelle Rodriguez, Greg Kinnear, Luke Evans, Lily Depp, who's just wonderful in this movie, Lily Rose Depp, and Martin Donovan for the real film fans, Hal Hartley style, all these Veronica Ferris, Kid Cudi. You guys look too white to know who that is.
Oh,
but,
no.
I'm well aware of who
or maybe just white enough. He's terrific in the film, and plays with Oldman in some very nice scenes. And so it's out now, and I recommend you watch it on iTunes because I get more money than if you watch it on Amazon.
There you go.
But if you watch it wherever you want, just because we're happy that you see it. And
get your shit together, Amazon. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, I guess it's working for them.
Yeah, right.
And so it's out now. It's a thriller. If you liked my last film, Arbitrage, the three of you listening who saw it, you'll like this one. And if you didn't like it, you might like this one. And if you don't like either of them, I don't like you. There it is.
Do you think that now that you know about this Armie Hammer angle, this new angle of him, do you think that would be good to weave into the sequel?
The thing is that when the trailer first came out, it was number one on iTunes, as was the movie. It was number one for a couple weeks. But when the trailer was first out, it was number one, and number two was a trailer for the movie called Food Club. So I thought somehow Armie Hammer Crisis and Food Club played nicely together.
Oh shit! That's kind of amazing.
That's great.
Oh my!
It's so sad. I mean, I don't know what to say about Armie. He's not doing himself any favors, but at the same time, like, he is like a poor, desperately wrongly accused man, or accused man. Is it wrong? Is it not? We don't know. We're making fun of him as a cannibal. He used to be my great friend making movies with me. Now he's eating. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
It's sad because it's like we talk a lot on this show about how there's kind of that, obviously there's certain people that you're like, okay, they're just horrible people, like Harvey Weinstein.
Sure.
Come on, but it oftentimes.
Why? What's wrong with Harvey Weinstein?
He just, he had a hard time paying his taxes on time.
Yeah,
I heard he's coming out to visit the coast. He's coming out to Cali.
Okay, have you met him?
I have, actually. He wanted to buy Arbitrage. I mean, you shouldn't speak ill of people in a horrible situation, but he wanted to buy Arbitrage, so I didn't really want to sell it to him, but they said, well, just because I knew he didn't have a good reputation, and so they said, well, just go see him. He's going to meet you in the lobby of the Yardborough Hotel at Sundance or whatever.
Oh, wow.
So I go in, and I get there early. Unlike with you guys, usually I would be early. If I respected them. No, I'm just kidding. So I go in, I get to the restaurant early, and I go in the bathroom, and they're not there yet. And I go in the bathroom, and then I come out, and it's like this very, like, Sundance is like a very bright place. Everybody's happy. And they managed to pick like the one shadowy restaurant in Park City. And so I'm like in the back, and then I come out and I hear like, where's Jarecki? And I look, and there's Harvey like sitting with his minions at some shadowy table. And I like sort of went out the back exit so I could pretend to come in the front again. But I could already tell the energy in the place was like, nah. And so then I go and go, good to see you. What a great film, a great movie, And then so I sit there, and he's got his plan of what he's going to do. And then about 20 minutes of the meeting, his brother Bob comes in, and he comes in, and he walks in, and he's like, he walks, he's in a suit, doesn't quite fit right, it's too big, but he walks like a mafioso who's been shot in the leg and never quite got over the wound. So he comes in the place, he's like, how you doing? It's Bob Weinstein. And then he sits down, and he's like, okay, now listen. All right, I heard you got a good movie here. All right, I want you to listen to my kid, brother Harvey. He's going to take care of you, okay? Just do the right thing. And that was it. We had another 10, 15 minutes of the meeting, and then I was like, okay, Bye. So then I said, we were having trouble selling the film before we met the Lionsgate guys. And then my salespeople said, well, what do you want to do? I said, I don't know. They said, well, so we got to go to Harvey. I'm like, no, I told you we can't go to Harvey. He's like, well, what are we going to do? And I was like, I don't know. We'll play the movie on a wall. What can you do with these films? So anyway, ultimately it worked out. In the end, we did Lionsgate. This time we did a small company called Quiver. We didn't have the pleasure of the Weinstein experience. But again, I do feel bad beating on these people who are having nightmares. There's so much suffering in the world that you just have to wish well, even to the malefactors, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of negativity out there, and I think I want to get back to Crisis a little bit because I think it's a really important film, and I actually, by the way,
I'm going to have a drink in honor of this. I've got a nice sake.
Oh my God!
So I'm going to do a drink out of the bottle.
Ooh, we're straight out of the bottle. That's how we do it around here.
That is how we do it, dude.
That's how Jimmy does it. That's for sure.
So let's get this out of the way right now. When we did one show, and I think I mentioned I got drunk. I don't drink at all, and I had like a half a bottle of whiskey and rum or whatever. By the end of the show, it was an absolute mess. It was a horror show. It was frightening. But I do want to say I'm glad you're drinking, and I also feel, and I'm one of the people that actually reviewed our Arbitrage. By the way, I don't know if you know that I reviewed that, and I gave it a good review. I liked it.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, I appreciated that.
You choose a lot of really very politically based or important films. I mean, obviously, Crisis is a really fucking important film. A lot of us are dealing with this kind of thing, and a lot of us are seeing people dealing with this kind of thing. Do you have a fear going in, like dealing with this kind of serious subjects, or would you, do you ever just, I want to make a dumb comedy with Tom Green or some shit like that?
I mean, I love comedies. I love comedies. And I don't know that I'm any good at doing a comedy. When Aristotle wrote the Poetics, which is like the ultimate manual on screenwriting, but when he wrote it, he wrote the section that we have, the tragedies, but he also wrote the comedies, and then that manual was destroyed in the fire at Alexandria or whatever. So he wrote a whole fucking book about how to do comedies, and it's gone. Right.
Wow.
So I think pretty much no one's ever wrote anything after Aristotle about how to do it. Right. He had figured it all out. Maybe Shakespeare added a little bit to the dramatic conversation, but he basically just did what Aristotle prescribed. So the fact that these comedy guys are out. So I have a manual when I do a drama. It's just very simple. I read the Poetics, 27 pages. I know what to do. There's no manual for comedy, and these guys who do it and girls who do it. I mean, I came across Sarah Silverman on Twitter the other night. She starts telling a joke, and within 30 or 40 seconds, I'm dying and laughing, and I came on and I'm like, oh, this is so stupid. Oh, she's talking about duty or whatever, and then she just sucked me into it, and I'm rolling. So I think it's, I would suspect that comedy is a more difficult art form than drama. Because from the little that I understand it, you have to write a whole drama and then make it funny. So it's like, I think that's probably beyond my capability.
Oh, you know what? Don't sell yourself short, because you actually mentioned Hal Hartley. Nobody knows who I love Hal Hartley movies. I'm sorry, Justin. You need to see Hal Hartley movies. They're fucking great, by the way. They're fucking great. That guy, because Martin Donovan is one of my favorites. I've been a fan of his. When I saw him in the movie, I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" I don't know that. I know that guy. And it took me.
That's a guy from Tenet. That's the Tenet guy.
I've never seen Tenet.
Oh no, you got to see it. And what about Justin? Have you seen Tenet?
I have yet to see it. Yeah.
So you were a fan. You were.
Yeah. But I do like what you said about bringing up Sarah Silverman, because I know for me personally, when I want comedy, I always turn to stand up, because to me it's like you're seeing the purest like art form of comedy when you watch stand up, because it's like the way these guys take just nothing Like they write an entire hour and they turn it into like entire act that they tour the world with. And I watch a lot of like podcasts with stand-up comedians where they're the hosts, and they talk a lot about the craft and the industry of comedy. And it's fascinating to me because you realize it's a lot more than just like going up and telling jokes.
Well, they build it. You know, there's that wonderful movie Jerry Seinfeld did, Comedian, documentary from about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That really inspired me actually to make my first documentary about James Toback, the director and accused sexual abuser. I got a lot of these. But that movie really chronicled, you know, Seinfeld rebuilding his stand-up thing, and then they followed this other comic. And, you know, I loved seeing that. And I've been sort of friendly with some comics over the years. And I would ask them about that. And they're like, oh, well, come see my shows, you know, and they go out there and build it 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time, you know. And I think Jerry said somewhere in the documentary, he's like, you know, like, oh, it's great. You're Jerry Seinfeld. You're famous. He's like, so you get to go up on stage. Everybody applauds for like 30 seconds. Then they laugh at the first joke. And then if you're not fucking funny at minute 45, they don't care who you are. And they're telling you to get the hell off the stage, you know? And I think there's something really fascinating about how raw comedy is, you know, how powerful it is, how it can hit you on this gut level. And then it can also cause you to go like, get the hell out of here, Seinfeld. You lost it. Right. Yeah. But so every comedian has to kind of come back and rebuild almost the same as a filmmaker or writer.
Sure.
You know,
that's why it's cool to see, like we go to these like comedy clubs, like the Comedy Store or like Flappers in Burbank, whatever it is. You know, like that's where they go to sort of like exercise new material. They'll like write on stage and try out new things. I've seen comedians bring like a notepad and set it on the stool, and they just kind of like go through these topics, and they're just trying things out. And it's cool because you're kind of, it's almost like you get to see like the rawest form of it because you're watching them work it out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I agree.
Nick, who are some of your favorites? Obviously Sarah Silverman. Who inspires you when it comes to comedy?
On the comedy side, oh my God, I just figured out how to turn myself off, and I'm like a million times happier because all I was doing was looking at my head go like this, and I didn't even get Stoney, and I was starting to think I was. Okay. Am I sort of straight though? Am I a little bit?
We don't see you at all. You disappeared.
You went dark.
You were dark.
Oh no, so that doesn't work. Then I turned myself off for everybody. I thought I was just turning myself off locally.
Oh,
what about now?
Ooh,
yeah, you're good.
Yes, you look great.
Oh, okay, all right. So there I can turn off the output so I don't have to see myself in the delay. Okay, all right. Okay, that's
exactly.
Now what about okay, well, you know what? I'm not going to waste the viewers' time with this nonsense. Okay, so what about me? What was the question? Which comics do I like?
Yeah, you like Sarah Silverman. Who are other comedians that you kind of connect to or enjoy watching?
Well, I mean, you're not really allowed to say it anymore, but Dice, obviously, I was a great fan of.
Oh yeah,
back in the day, just for his outrageousness. But I thought he had a great comic timing. I mean, he's really good in that movie, the Bradley Cooper movie.
Star is Born. He's fucking fantastic. Yeah. He's really fucking fantastic in that film. You know, I've got a Dice story for you guys. So when I was a kid, when I first came out to LA, I had the biggest crush on Leah Thompson, huge crush on Leah Thompson, and she did that movie Casual Sex with Dice, and I remember I worked at a video store. Leah Thompson comes in, and I'm just like, Gaga. And she comes up, talks to me, starts asking me about these movies she wants to rent. And I started talking about Casual Sex, the movie she did with, I won't say the other actress, but she did Casual Sex, and we started talking about Dice, and she was like, nothing but nice things about him. Nothing but like, he's a great dude. He's real cool, real friendly. It surprised me, shocked me. So it kind of changed my view of him a little bit.
Yeah. Wait, I'm looking. I was wondering why you won't say the name of the other actress, so I was looking it up.
I think there's something to be said about like
I'm
people
not
that
a fan of hers anymore.
Yeah. Now, I think there's something to be said about people that are a little bit more rough around the edges, because I think oftentimes you find that those are the sweetest people, and that's also why I'm always really suspicious of people that are like too nice, because you're like, what skeletons are in your closet? Like, you can't. No normal person doesn't just have like any dirt. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
What are you trying to tell us, Justin?
Yeah, exactly, Justin.
I'm trying to tell you that I got some secrets, dude.
Yeah, he's got.
That's for the after hours show.
Yeah.
The after hours show.
That's how we really met. That was just, we can't even go into it. It's just wrong on so many levels. So what?
That was on the dark web for you guys at home.
Dark web, yeah.
I mean, you don't like horror, right? We talked about this. You're
no,
not.
I don't dislike horror. I have no particular feeling about it.
No, because Justin,
that I like The Shining, and that I like what Stanley Kubrick said, which was that all horror movies are innately optimistic, because in order for horror to occur, there must be a God.
Wow. I've never thought of that way. I guess so. I don't know. That's weird. Oh my God, dude. Now that's something stony.
See, that's something stony, right?
Whoa.
You see how I flipped you? Flipped you for real.
Dude. Well, I'm also starting.
I'll flip you.
Starting to head. Flip me, man.
Flip you. I'll flip you for real. Benicio.
Yeah. Put the thing down, flip it, and reverse it, you know?
Nice. So
exactly.
Now what is I want to flip it around a little bit here. You know, you guys are taking pictures. Maybe I'm going to take a picture, because that's how I do it. Okay.
Please do.
But I want to know do you have a purpose with this show? Do you have a stated agenda?
No, that's the thing.
Just reach out to as many, get as big a following as we can, and just hopefully make people laugh and entertain them. That's what my goal is, anyway.
Yeah, we never really when we started talking about doing the show, it was like we had these great connection, and we had these great conversations, and they were funny sometimes, and they were personal, and they were we just learned a lot about each other, and it just became this, I don't know, it felt natural, and the idea of just, making people want to have a cool time, just listen to some stuff, kind of maybe tune out of the craziness that surrounds us every fucking day.
Yeah. I mean, because a lot of these podcasts these days are like very topical, and it's like, oh, this is a true crime podcast, and this is a, paranormal podcast. But this one is just like, it's just people getting high and talking shit, and that's right up my alley. So
nice.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, yeah,
I like that. I like the freewheeling nature of it.
Sure.
And you have this lovely producer now. Do you ever have her on the show, or is she only behind the scenes?
We have her a lot. She is the heart of this show, and Elizabeth is the best. You'll have to talk with her more. She's one of the loveliest people you'll ever meet. Hey, Elizabeth, we love you. She's the best. She's the best.
Already tuned out and listening to talk. No. And so it's really like you guys have a little family. You have like a 3-person. It's a triumvirate.
Yeah,
it is, and it definitely shows when we do bring her on the podcast, especially just because, I mean, the three of us click just as well as just Jimmy and I. So it's the dynamic is definitely there.
Yeah. And she gets it. She got what we were trying to do. She wasn't like, oh, well, maybe you could do this. She's just like, hey, I fucking like talking. I like listening to you guys. I like the freeform feel of it. That's really where it is. And that's just, man, it's just like, I don't know. We all need to laugh. We all need to forget. We all need to. We don't even give a fuck if people make fun of us. I have this incredible love for the movie Showgirls. I talk about it all the time.
Great fucking film.
Thank you. I saw
it in the movie theater. It's a fucking masterpiece. Paul Verhoeven. He's a great filmmaker.
Dude, okay, seriously. He's made some of the best movies, and this movie comes out, and suddenly oh my God, no, he's the worst director. I'm like, no. Not even close. It's not even that terrible compared to some other movies.
It's it was really very crazy. I mean, you see this happen sometimes with films, and I mean, it even happened to us for a minute where you're getting attacked for some reason or another, whether it's the showgirl NC-17 or the cannibal or whatever. Something can latch in, and then it's a little tough to get around that. I was actually reading this crazy. I want to just be careful of what I say because I don't myself want to be canceled. But I was reading about this filmmaker who tried to take on whatever he deemed as woke Twitter. He made some movie with Daniel Radcliffe with the guns akimbo. Do you know the story?
Oh,
and then the woman, she was said bad words about the black people, and the critics canceled her, so she tried to kill herself, and then he was upset because she tried to die, and then the critics destroyed the movie and boycott. I know, it was crazy. I just read this article the other day. Did you read this?
Oh shit! No, I didn't read it. I did. I remember the movie coming out, but I don't remember. I've heard nothing about this.
There was a whole tomato war about it. Yes.
Oh,
racism, sexism, canceling. It's wild. It's an interesting article out there. So I don't know. I feel like the movies used to be the place where you would do the wild ideas, and it feels to me now like maybe movies are even a little bit passé, and it's the Twitterverse or the electronic, Dogecoin universe where the real wild style is taking place.
Yeah, I feel like even me, I love movies and I watch movies all the time, but I feel like I've been kind of drifting into, I don't know, watching shit on YouTube lately, just kind of, and not so much because of the length, just because I want to see some things that are a little unique and a little different. And I don't know, it's the Wild West we're in right now when it comes to social media, when it comes to obviously the pandemic, what it did to fucking movies in general. I mean, that must have been crazy for you because you guys were theatrical, right? Originally. I mean, that was
100%.
Wow.
Keep it 100. And I mean, the pandemic, what can you say? I mean, independent film is always on the verge of extinction, and this didn't help, So I don't know what's going to go on. I sort of foresee a world where within a few years you will not be able to see an independent movie in the theater. I think because they can't afford the projectors and the lease and the thing, and these people who make these independent movies, they don't have any money, and no one's going to see these things, and no one wants to pay $15 for a ticket and get the parking and the thing, and they can sit at home and do Netflix for $9.99 or bootleg their friend's password or whatever. And and I think if it don't have a cape, it don't go. Yeah. I think that's really where we're at, and it's a shame. It's a real shame, and I don't think it's only the audience that went that way. I think the corporations saw very clearly that this was the way for them to make more money, which is let's do fewer movies, bigger bets, and get them in the theater with spectacle. And whatever happens to the rest happens. That's not their problem. They're just making money, right? So I don't know, and I mean, you think about, and in a way, I think, Jim, you're a little bit older than me, right? Maybe, I'm not sure, but I know just from reading about it that, there used to be all these revival houses, theaters, art house theaters that I think in the late 70s or early 80s, there was something like 500 art house theaters across America, 500. And now there are like 3. And, they would play Belle de Jour and De Sica films and the latest Giallo, where they come with the black hands, Dario Argento's gonna fuck you up, and all this kind of wild style, exciting stuff. Maybe it was boring. Maybe it was like fucking watching paint dry sometimes to watch one of these movies, but that is gone.
Dude, that was my, and I don't know if Justin, I've told Justin about this, but like I grew up in those fucking theaters, dude. I grew up seeing Love is a Dog from Hell in a theater when I was far too young to see that movie, or shit like I can't even say how Kawakasati or whatever the fuck that movie was.
Koyaanisqatsi?
That's that. Yeah, I can. Yeah. I've never been able to say that fucking movie. That's the shit I grew up on, and that I didn't watch a lot of the bigger budget movies, and I would see like Suspiria or shit like that. I'd be like, oh my god, this stuff is cool. So that would break my heart.
Yeah, I remember reading a story years ago. It was around the time when, remember the movie The Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe? I remember reading that their budget got cut a lot because they wanted to save for they wanted to disperse it more to like the superhero movies. So even it's already happening to where even movies that are normally big budget to begin with are getting cut dramatically just because they're not like a superhero movie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a weird time. I mean, but with you, the kinds of movies you make, Nick, I still feel like there's going to be room for stuff like that because you do have, you get these big ideas and you're dealing with subject matter that I do think people do want, because your audience, the audience reaction has been really good to Crisis, I've noticed.
Yeah. I mean, I look, there is a place, for these kind of thoughtful films, but man, is it getting harder, It was so hard when I got into this business, and that is now 20 years ago. 22 years ago is when I started in the movies.
Shit.
I've been doing this a long time. And it was so difficult then. And now, I mean, it's really like, it's tough. And I think everyone's so confused, this is something that happened to me today. I'm working on something that's really quite wonderful. It's a story of a true story about an Air Force pilot, an incredible woman who flew helicopters and flew Black Hawks and was a medical combat search and rescue pilot, and flew into Afghanistan, was shot down when the Purple Heart saved this whole team of people, and then came back and she wasn't allowed to serve in combat because she was a woman. And so she ended up quitting the military, suing the military and changing the laws. And all this happened only 9 years ago. And it's an incredible, unknown, true story. And so we're trying to put this movie forth, put it together, and get the financing together. And I can't say who, but I just got this really terrific actress to play the role, kind of my dream of who would do it, who's nominated for an Oscar right now. And now we're trying to get the money, and we might not get it, but because we need a lot of money for this movie, a lot. Yeah. I mean, we need 15% of what they spend on every other movie, but still, I need $40 million to do this. And because it's helicopters and it's that like, there's just no way to not spend the money. Yeah. And I can really stretch a dollar, I'm good at that. But I mean, this is a kind of crazy, this just happened today. It really bothered me. So one of the team spoke to a place that might pay for it, and they said, yeah, I spoke to him. He's interested, but he really wants only female filmmakers. And I told him the actress believes in you and the subject believes in you, and met with plenty of other women. So I just wrote back, I said, do they even understand that statement is illegal? What if he said, I only want white filmmakers? It's like, but it's, I don't know what to say, because I feel like even to say that, now could I be canceled for sharing that story? Because I'm the privileged white guy, I'm the poster child of everything that's wrong, the white, half Jewish, and we got money, and, with they, you can say anything you want about me. I've been everywhere, but I'm easily attackable. But where are we coming to in our culture? So this art, the death of the art house, the death of the art film, the homogenization towards the superhero culture. I don't want to get too boring and didactic here, but I think it all comes from the same place. And where, this is what I try to show in my films. It doesn't come from social justice warriors wanting the right thing for humanity. It comes from people trying to get rich in some fashion. There are corporations that push these agendas. They push opioids, they push housing derivatives, they push social justice, whatever. It's always a smokescreen for they want to make some money somehow, exploiting one facet of this system or another. So I think, that is just something always to keep in mind there. Do I think that this white executive at a large financial corporation cares at all about the gender divide in directing? No. I've been in the Directors Guild for 11 years, and I've gone and sat in all those meetings where we talk about diversity hires and gender and the absurd statistics of how few women were directing movies. And we made a concerted effort to do something about that with the incredible leadership of people like Kimberly Pierce, Jodie Foster, all these wonderful members of the Directors Guild who are very active and take a role in this. But the politicized society that we're now coming into is, I just think it's somehow anti-artistic, and I think that's why you are seeing the diminishment of the art film, the diminishment of the strange film, and its replacement with this very safe, calm product manufactured for the bells and the whistles in the place, and get you in, get your money, get you out, and churn out another one. And any type of complex thought, like let's talk about the culpability of opioid corporations, or let's talk about how a woman was maligned in the military, they don't really want to finance. Wow. Anyway, this is a long rant, but whatever. I'm going to have another sip of my tongue.
You should. I know. I think there's a lot of truth in that. And I think that I can't even imagine being in your position. I can't even imagine being in that, being told, we can't use you because of who you are. That's such a weird place to be for anyone, I think. Especially, I don't know, man. It's like, and that's the thing about the show. We try to just be honest and just not go to a fucking, I don't know, just, we're very open on the show. And I like the rant. I like what you're having to say, because we don't get to hear this from feature filmmakers.
Well, you're not allowed to talk about it. You're not allowed, you put yourself at risk. I mean, it's a sad thing we do in the culture now. When anybody says something that we don't like or we don't agree with, there's a tendency to just hit with so much negative energy. And what, to what? To get them fired, to get them kicked out of their apartment? Like, when is Twitter satisfied? When they're begging on the floor, prostituting themselves,
that's kind of it kind of ties back to what you were saying earlier about how, you got to have sort of sympathy for people that are going through hard times, because cancel culture, there's an ugly side to it where, it's not even necessarily people are doing anything wrong. It's just Twitter just decides that someone's icky now, and then they just ruin their lives. But there's a lot of things that people get canceled for. I mean, especially recently with, a handful of people that like what they did was wrong, sure, maybe, but like it's redeemable. But you're not giving these people the chance to redeem themselves. And it's like, isn't that the ultimate goal, is for them to learn from their mistakes and come back a better person? But you're not giving them the chance to do that. So what's the real goal here?
Yeah, no, it's tricky, because obviously there's some people out there that are just really fucking terrible people. They just
of course.
But it's like, yeah, you do. I always feel like I was obsessed with those Karen videos for a while. When we first started the show, I was obsessed with all the, the people put compilations of these.
Oh yeah, those
Karen,
were great.
Yeah.
I was totally into that. I was following all the Karen channels.
Dude, they were fascinating. But at the same time, you're like, some of them you'd watch and you'd go, wait a second, this could be just someone having a bad day, and we don't know the other side of the story. We don't know what's going on here. And to be honest, dude, I was like really fucking into these. The other day, like I said, I watched one again.
There was one called Karen's Going Wild. I was on that.
Yes, that's
Karen's,
the one.
Karen's Going Wild was hot. I also really I fuck with 187 Gangsters. I don't know if you guys follow that. That's another great channel.
No,
that's just the whole fuck the police theme, which I like. I'm very anti-authority in all its forms. Come and get me. So I don't know, but what is the solution, gentlemen? And where do we go from here? Because we don't want to. We want to have progress, and we want to have more than that. We want new ideas. We want debate. We want edgy stuff. I'm super excited to see this movie. The one movie I'm excited to see. What is it called? Pleasure. Have you guys seen this about the porn star she moves to LA to become the biggest porn star? It's directed by some like French auteur director. I don't know. It's all the rave of the festivals.
Let me see.
I want to see that one, probably just because I'm a easily excitable dude. But I want because it's like feminist critique, but embracing it. I want to see. I want to see another like piece of shit movie from Gaspar Noé. I'm ready for Gaspar to come with another Enter the Void. I want to see Abel Ferrara back in action. I want to see an Amy Heckerling movie. I want to see things that are a bit edgy, that aren't this, commoditized. He's a star. He's kind of funny. Put him with a kid. Netflix it up and with fucking digital camera, simple color grade. Enough. Where's Fight Club?
Fight Club. Where's Ken Russell, man? Ooh. I want another Ken Russell movie. Fuck, could you imagine the Devils Now? No fucking way that movie gets made. Yeah, no way. It's like I was obsessed with movies like that. I was obsessed with fucking anything David Lynch. I miss David Lynch. I want another David Lynch movie. I don't know why he's not making movies now. He could easily.
He's doing his TM or whatever. I don't know. He's managing. I saw him one time in the Chateau Marmont when it was still open, eating with a very beautiful woman. I think it was his wife, who was like 35 years younger than him. So he obviously is keeping himself busy in other ways.
I guess so. Oh man! So what else? What you got going on? How was your week, by the way? We always talk about our weeks, and how was your week?
My week. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
And I want to know about you guys too. My week was good. It was. We're still doing the rollout of the movie worldwide, and that is really complex and frustrating because of COVID. I mean, we have Warner Brothers as our major distributor in the United Kingdom, and they put up a lot of money for this movie. And but they need to do a cinema release. It's Gary Oldman. He's a British national treasure, right? And it's the cool film that they wanted to launch there. And now we've had to reschedule 2-3 times because of cinema closures. And they don't want to go straight to VOD there. I mean, we didn't want to do it here. We managed to get to 216 theaters, but I mean, that was it. We were the second highest grossing movie we were very high up there the week we played, and we made like $250,000, so which is, that literally would be like one theater's performance 5 years ago. Right. So, there wasn't too much to do here in the theaters, but so we have to coordinate that worldwide. Then we have to do all the press and the interviews worldwide and kind of try to schedule that. And then, go with each territory and try to find people like yourself, frankly, who are into film and into promoting this type of cinema, because it's not the obvious, our dark, edgy opioid thriller with Gary Oldman. That's not exactly the 6 o'clock news story, especially not with Army Cannibal on it. So, it's that certainly judge. Now, listen, I don't want to sound like an asshole. I'm not complaining. I'm a movie director. It's a fucking privilege to ever get to make any movie at all, even with all the nightmare associated with it. So it's great fun. But I think the pandemic's isolating. Normally when you do a movie, I've done this a few times, but you build a sense of community with your cast and with your, and we had that, right? But then we finished this movie 15 months ago. And so it's just been sitting on the shelf and trying to get it out and trying to find a theater and where's the cast and did Gary get the vaccine? And Evangeline's in Hawaii and she's telling people COVID's fake or like, who the fuck knows what's going on, right? So everybody's kind of distributed. So we don't have a premiere. My movie premiered on an Apple TV. So there's a sense of isolation, I think, that sets in, but I think everybody's been dealing with that,
Sure.
And this is where we are. Now society's opening up a little bit, but I just talked to, for instance, I talked to our Canadian guys today and they're like, oh, we're in Ontario. It's horrible. Nobody's been vaccinated. We just went back to severe lockdown. We're not allowed to leave the house. Yeah. My friend's mother's in the UK. They can't go out. The cinema closure, so I don't know. I mean, when does it end? Justin, tell me.
I don't know. I think at least around here, I think there's light at the end of the tunnel, especially with vaccines. I think this is the beginning of the end. Who knows how long it'll take until we get to the end of the end. But the wheels are starting to turn at least. So that's my expert opinion.
I like it.
I feel like, I don't know, I've noticed things that I feel there's a difference lately. I feel like when I go out to get a Starbucks or I go out to get lunch for my kid or something like that, and I'm walking the streets or walking into a store, I feel like there's more of a, hey, how are you? There's less of the don't get fucking near me, 6 feet, motherfucker.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there's an energy there that
are we live, by the way? Can I just ask you that? Are we live?
Yes, we are live.
We are. How do I? Because I want someone to listen to the show. How do I get them on? Where do they go?
You can go on YouTube. It's the Cosm QOSM.
See, if you're listening, you probably know this already. Because otherwise, how would you know? QOSM.
Exactly. QOSM. So you can go to our Twitter page and this is a great moment. Hey, like and support us.
I'm looking at myself on my phone. Yes. My receding hairline. So how do we support you?
You just watch it. All right, now we hear us. This is perfect. It's just watch it. Just like us. Just review us. That would be great.
Share, review, comment, everything, all of it. Share it with your friends. Show it to your friends. Send it in business emails.
This is so exciting. It's cool. I feel like, I haven't seen myself on TV in a minute. And who are now? How do you guys cultivate your audience, by the way?
God, I don't know. We're stoned, man.
Who's listening? Is it like, Chet from the video store, or is it?
It's mainly more than 3 people on here? Fans. Yeah, it's mainly people that are already fans of Cosm content.
Yeah,
and friends of ours, and every once in a while we get some randoms.
Yeah, no, I think we have a few people that were really always there, always watching, and it's amazing. And we have great people. I like the people that are watching. I like even the people that were fucking trolling 2 weeks ago.
They watched.
Yeah, they watched.
On it. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm like, cool. Okay, you're watching. You're fucking telling us we're idiots or whatever.
Yeah,
but
fine.
Fuck. Okay, thanks for watching.
Criticizing how much I say fuck because you're a pussy.
I still say they're talking about me, dude.
No,
I think I say fuck as much as you do.
I'm sure it's close.
And I say motherfucker more than you do too.
Yeah, well, that's usually when you're talking to me.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I particularly like motherfucker as an expression.
Great.
I think that's a good one.
Is that your favorite swear word?
No, I like cunt.
Cunt is so underused in America,
it's
dude.
Such a great word.
It's so good.
The Brits love it.
I love it.
Literally, you watch a movie like The Commitments or anything like that. They say that all the kids are saying that.
Yeah.
You cannot say that. You cannot say that. It's so stupid.
You know what? I actually kind of like that. It's not very normal in America because when you call someone a cunt, they're like, oh, and I love that reaction, dude. It's the best. It shuts them up real quick.
But can you get canceled for that?
These days, fucking probably.
Probably. Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. it is a weird, like, dude, okay, I'll watch a comedy from 5 years ago, right? I'll hear a joke, and I hate this feeling, guys. I fucking hate it. I'll be watching it. I'll hear a joke, and I'll be like, "Gosh, could they even do that joke today?" I hate feeling that way. It's because it's
a lot of movies over the last probably 5 to 10 years that the answer is no.
Yeah. Even TV comedy, you're like, some of it, you're like, wow, they couldn't get away with this now. It's such a weird world we're living in.
Now, apparently, according to Margot Hemingway, she said that they couldn't have made Manhattan today, Woody Allen's Manhattan, for all the Woody Allen fans out there.
Yeah. Talk about someone who got canceled, I guess.
Why, did Woody do something wrong? What is
dude, his tax evasion again, dude? All these guys just can't pay their taxes.
So what now? Well, what else can we talk about? I mean, we've talked about I have a friend who's I can't say who it is. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I can't say who it is. He's a big movie star. You'd be mad. But he said to me recently, I was like, well, I wanted, let's do a tequila company like George Clooney, make some fucking money. And he was like, yeah, he's like, honestly, I think it's about time to diversify because pretty soon we will all be canceled. Maybe. And I thought there was something profound in that. You know, he wasn't saying all us movie stars. He was saying literally everybody will be canceled because there's no, you know, once everybody went to one side, some people would want to go to another side, you know? So there's no place to go. So if everybody's like hating on this, you know, I don't know what people do other than withdraw. And what can we do then? Maybe we will do a tequila factory.
Maybe that's a good idea. That's a very good idea.
You know, speaking of famous actors, I'll go ahead and debut my special little indulgence for this episode. For those of you listening and watching, in case you don't know, Seth Rogen just recently launched his own weed company called Houseplant, and it's all he's, you know, obviously very involved with it, helps, you know, pick what strains go into it. He does like makes his own ashtrays and everything that he makes himself, because he's apparently been into pottery lately. And they launched it at a dispensary near me, and I got a hold of some of it. This is I got a sativa and an indica. This is what it comes in, like these little tins, and they're a pain in the ass to get open. I'll see if I can.
I like that the hat's back, by the way. Unstoppable, man. Unstoppable.
Yeah, dude, it's Stoney time.
Thank you.
You gotta use your fucking key to get into it. It's so funny because like he even had to make a video about like, hey, this is how you open it, because nobody could get it open, and it's still as hard as fuck. But that's all right, dude. So this is what it looks like. He chooses particularly big nugs, which I appreciate a nice big nug. And I gotta say,
I like big nugs too.
Big nugs, dude. It's the way to go. And you know what? I gotta say, fucking, and I'm not just saying this, but it is easily the freshest smelling weed I've ever smelled in my life.
Really?
It smells very fresh. You can very easily. It has like lavender and citrus notes to it. And in most weeds, when they tell you that, you can't really pick up on it. But in this one, it's in your fucking face. This one is an indica. It's called Pink Moon. I don't know if you can see that very well. Yeah. So and it comes with when you buy it, it comes with like a little description card. And I put it in a little leaf roll here. And one thing that's cool, I've been finding there's a couple of brands that I found that do this. They provide matches for your weed, for your joints, what have you. And I don't know what it is about lighting a joint with a match, but it turns into a much more elegant experience, and I am all for it. So we're just going to see if we can't get this going.
Cool.
Oh my God, somebody just sent me a picture while you're lighting up, because I sent out the link. They're in their screening room watching Something Stoney.
Oh, hell yeah. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you do it.
Ballers! What's up, ballers?
Ballers!
Blaze up.
Dude,
Light
yeah.
one up.
So, I'm on my edibles, so they're fucking kicking in hardcore at this point. I'm just
whoa, lit that wrong. That's all right. It'd be like that.
What? So wait. So you hadn't indulged at all until this moment.
Until this moment.
Wow, you got
so
serious.
We're gonna see where you're at in about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, it's not gonna take long, man. And he does specifically mention that he makes sure his weed is very strong. So should be a real treat.
Now, see, so I got to tell you, Nick, Justin and I both kind of, and we've talked about this a little bit on the show. Both of us started weed really late in our lives, and we're both about a few years in. I never did this before. I never. I was a fucking.
This
I
is
was
like a total. By the way, the before on this is like Jimmy teaching calculus at Harvard. And fucking Justin, like in with a pocket protector, working at Arthur Anderson, and then Something Stoney came by.
Yeah, and now I'm wearing fucking gold chains and just puffing on a giant weed cigar,
and wearing that Bass Nectar T-shirt, whom I love. But Bass Nectar was also canceled recently.
It was also canceled, dude, and it's bullshit. He's one of those dudes. We talk about this all the time. It's like when someone gets canceled, is it shout out to Bass Nectar. Shout out to, I'm so glad that you noticed it because it's a great shirt. I got this at one of his concerts. He puts on one of the best fucking shows, man. And
apparently for women too.
Apparently.
Oh my gosh.
No, dude, he's great. It's just, will he be back? We'll see.
Nick, what kind of music are you into? I mean, it seems like you've got a hip hop thing going on.
I'm from the East Coast, so of course I like the
boom bap.
Yeah, Biggie. By the way, my friend just made this movie that's great. Everybody should watch after they watch Crisis, called City of Lies. Brad Furman with Johnny Depp, whom at this point I know is the father of Lilly Rose Depp. But he's actually quite good in it, and Forrest Whitaker's in it, about the murder of Notorious B.I.G. So I recommend everybody check that out. Michael Soupy's my producer, who's listening right now, who produced Crisis with us, recommended City of Lies to me, and I'm very happy that he did. So what do I like? Of course I like hip hop, but I also like jazz music a lot, and I play jazz music. And
you did? I didn't know you played jazz.
Yes, so I can play for you now if you want. Is that too wild for this podcast? Okay, so I only have enough right here.
It might be.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll just do a little. I don't know if we
play a little ditty.
Can we? How does that? Can you see the keys or no?
I see like a close-up of the piano.
You do? What do you see? I don't know what it is. There I see. You can't really see the keys, so it's
no, we're not.
All right.
Yeah. It's
okay. So you know what? I'll put it here. I don't know what I'm gonna play for you. I'll just play something very simple. All right, so that's just a little taste I like to do. We're on Something Stoney.
Okay. Theme.
Well, we are Something Stoney. With Justin and don't come down here, you ain't stoned. This is the worst. This is terrible. You can never play when you're in front of an audience, but so I like to mess around on the jazz front, and
can you record
I like
that
electronic music. Yeah, I can. I don't know why you would ever want to hear that again.
Because it's going to be our fucking outro music now.
I know, that's fucking amazing. We want that. I want to use that. Fuck.
I'll compose something for you that's a little more appropriate for the Something Stoney vibe. I can see a kind of deep groove. Although I like what you have now when the show opens up. You know, there's something about. Do you have? Yeah. Can the producer play that, or do you have these sound effects, or
I don't know.
Or do you want to just make noise?
Yeah. Yeah, I found that theme in the depths of YouTube. So haven't gotten any strikes for it, so I think it's good.
Yeah,
no copyright infringements.
Yeah.
It's such a tricky time too. It's like I don't know. Everything's available. It's like even trying to find something for I don't know. You get shit on by Facebook for all this shit all the time. It's I posted a piece of a video once on Instagram, and I remember it just being they took it down. I'm like, come on, man! I want to share my this great music, people. Fuck it.
Yeah,
love that.
I love it too. Now, what about so what is the how many shows have you done now here? I'd like to know.
We're on about 28 shows that we've done. Yeah, we started
28 shows. Have you ever had Chet Hanks on as a guest?
Oh, I would love that.
What do you think about Chet Hanks? Big up in your area, big up.
Oh my god, dude.
He's a white boy summer.
Man, he is the exact kind of chaotic mess that we're looking for on this show.
Mm-hmm.
He's a hot
Absolutely.
mess. By the way, my girl was sort of watching. She's like, "Oh, Chet Hanks, he's kind of cute," and I was like, "What? How dare you?"
I mean, if you're into like wannabe bad boys,
you know.
Yeah, I was thinking like, did you see, by the way, that when Tom Hanks like won the Golden Globe, he tweeted, he was like, "Big up to my father, Tom Hanks."
Yes.
So and he's like, "Big up, Dad." It's so good.
God, I'm sure your dad loved that.
I wish I could find the exact tweet. I'm sorry because I feel like now I'm canceling Chet Hanks, even though he's kind of amusing.
He's very amusing. I mean, I've known a lot of Chet Hanks in my life, especially the area I grew up in. So I love watching it from a distance.
I mean, we've all been Chet Hanks, you know, whether or not we had an Academy Award, multi-Academy Award winner as a father, in some ways, you know.
I think so.
There's something about Chet Hanks that I find kind of endearing myself. I have to admit. Maybe it's just his beefy look.
I think it seems like he's very self-aware of what he's doing, and so it makes it fun. Because it's like you're in on it with him in a way.
I don't know. No, go ahead, Jimmy.
No, it's fine. Now I gotta look at. I don't really know this guy. I don't know much about him. I'm like, I know the name, but I really don't know.
What kind of technical capabilities do we have here at Something Stoney? Can you play White Boy Summer? Can you play a clip from this?
I think if Elizabeth, if you can, that would be awesome.
You could probably just find it on YouTube, I would imagine.
I'll check it out.
It's such a banger, I have to say.
See, now that sounds familiar though. Like White Boy Summer, I feel like I've listened to that.
But did you know that Tom Hanks has a rapper son?
Gosh.
I mean, no one knows that. No
one knows that. I'm sure Tom Hanks had a lot to do with the fact that no one knew that for a long time, but Chet Hanks is busting out, and I'm all for it.
Shit. Okay. Yeah. Now I'm really fucking curious.
Yeah, I mean, you're also stoned, so you don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm in the zone, man. So I'm like, now I'm just kind of trying to picture. But I know I've fucking heard that though. I've heard that song, or I've seen the video or something. So I feel like I've seen it. You know, it's probably something that maybe just didn't. I don't know. But now I'm excited to listen to it because you said it's a banger. That's what I want to hear.
It's kind of a banger. I don't know. There's something to it. I'm trying to find it. What about you guys? So it's kind of a dubstep situation over here.
Dubstep. You know what? You want to know something kind of embarrassing?
Yeah.
I'm a country guy. I love Americana. I grew up like
how can you not fuck with this? You know what I mean?
Rude boy, it's a white boy.
White boy summer.
White dandada. Rude boy, it's a white boy summer. Got some Tatianas all out by the cabana. Rolling marijuana and they all from Guyana. Yeah, Russian girl named Svetlana. Another from the islands, yeah, she looks like Rihanna. Yeah, white girls love Madonna. Girls wanna have fun, you could do it if you wanna. But shout out to my LA chicks on some LA shit. Eating sushi at Katana on the Sunset Strip. You know the boy got nice, cause I'm the one with the drip. West side won't slip when I come through. Bullseye won't miss, always hit my target. Made a strip off rip. I don't do chases, I just wanna hit. I got blue faces.
All right, that was amazing.
Wow.
I mean, I'll be honest, he's definitely not the worst rapper I've
heard.
No,
he's kind of he's tight. I mean, he has some flow.
Yeah. He's not terrible. I mean, for that, yeah, it's not bad. Like it's you know, it's not like freaking.
It's not like their Chet Hanks isn't really even doing anything wrong. It's just the contrast of Tom Hanks and Chet Hanks is so fascinating.
Well, because it's like, you know, this whole like thug rapper persona. It's immediately phony because you know that he's like, oh, rich fucking kid. Like he grew up. This is Tom Hanks is his dad. So,
what about DMX? Are you upset about that? So sad.
I was. Yeah, no.
Oh, another OD.
Absolutely. I mean, he's obviously like a legend. You know, I mean, he's one of the greatest easily, and he was the first rapper I really got into. So it's like, in a way, he kind of introduced me to hip hop. I think that's why I gravitate to a lot of like boom bap kind of style. So yeah, I've been listening to him since I was like 7 years old. So it's yeah, man, it was really sad. Another thing that was annoying is that I heard people were making up stories and trying to spread rumors that like he died from the COVID vaccine, and you're like, come on, dude, you can't just like leave this one alone. You got to spread your fucking agenda with this.
That's crazy.
Fucking stupid. Yeah, we actually talked a lot about him last week because I think that one was just something that affected everybody, and it's like the idea that like it always bothers me when I read on Twitter when you see someone that has like an OD and it's like oh fuck them, then they should. I'm like, dude. You don't even fucking know.
By the way, that's something we wanted to really deal with in Crisis, you know, because I think the you know, that notion of another piece of shit, another OD, it misses the tragedy of it all, you know, which is that addiction doesn't discriminate. You know, it can touch anybody, and I think that's what the opioid thing showed. Because before it was a little bit easier to say, like, oh, the street people, they do heroin, or you know, the tweakers, they do meth. You know, but then opioids came along, and everybody was doing that, and all of a sudden it was like, yeah, my mom is doing opioids. What? You know, and so it was kind of a wake-up call. So I think there's a bit of a shift now of understanding that it's not the case where it's like, oh, stupid idiot, you know, but understanding that, well, hold on, this really is a terrible, terrible disease in America. And then I think, especially with the opioid thing, and this is something we want to show in the movie, this is a disease that was created in a lab by corporations and put out to the street to make money. You know, this was, you know, it was no accident that the opioids got out there. And, you know, the companies pushed them, they advertised them, they took them to doctors, they sent the doctors on cruises to the Bahamas, they paid them in graft in every fucking inconceivable way possible. They stacked the deck at the FDA to, you know, and then now 15, 20 years later, we see the devastation that's wrought. And, you know, as I even put it in the script in the movie, you know, next to tobacco, before COVID, it was the second biggest killer in America. And so, I mean, I think the DMX thing, you know, I was reading, who knows whether he was touching fentanyl or not, you know, but I mean, a lot of those, the cocaine deaths or the crack deaths are fentanyl related because they're getting spiked with fentanyl, you know, and it's such a powerful substance, you know, that our government doesn't really interdict in the border with, because it's all coming from China. Anyway, I'm saying a whole bunch of new shit I could get canceled for by a whole other group of people. But nonetheless, you know, I just feel, you know, as we said earlier, it's like we feel for the malefactors, you know, but I mean, we gotta feel for the victims too. whether it's DMX or these terrible shootings that were going on yesterday, with the killing of the boy and then the guy in the FedEx Center, and there's all. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why it's. I'm old enough now to remember that it wasn't always this terrible.
No, it wasn't.
I don't think, right? I mean,
no,
it's not that more smartphones show that it's worse. I think it's that it got worse.
No, it's legit worse. And when I was a kid, a lot of you would hear kidnappings or serial killers were big back in back in a while. 70s, 80s, 90s. You had we even had a guy. I remember growing up hearing about a little boy that was kidnapped. That was a horrible, horrible story. But it's weird because we go through these. It's almost like fucking It, like a Stephen King novel, because you're just like. For this period of this decade, you hear all the serial killings and kidnappings. Then you hear another, it's drive-by shootings. And now it's just imploding everything. We're dealing with so much stuff. And then on top of that, we're dealing with the cancel. We're dealing with I don't even know where we are right now. And I don't know if there's I do think it will get better. I think there's an ebb and flow to it all, right? I mean, I hope so. I hope that we get to some sort of normalcy that, and I think we will, but I don't know if there's an easy answer. I don't think there is. That's what people fucking forget. There's no easy answer to any of this. There's no black or white. There's a lot in between, no matter what subject you're dealing with, no matter whether it's addiction, whether it's your own kind of personal demons. I feel like we're in a fucking world where, it's like we're so quick to judge everyone else, but then we fail to look inside who we are and trying to better ourselves. And I think that's sad. I think that's fucking sad. I'm getting, I'm too stoned for this. But I don't know, it's like, it's one of those things. I'm like, I wish people would just be nice to each other. I wish we could, you could, I don't know, like,
honestly, that's at the core of every movie, which is like, they're all a version of saying that. Why can't people be nicer to each other? Which is fine. It's a message that bears repeating, But I just like, cause I don't know what it is either, like, I don't remember all this from 25 years ago or 20 years ago, that it was Now, is it just because we walk around with this device all day and it's always buzzing and it's always a click away to hear who's a piece of shit, who did blah, blah, what malfeasance has occurred? Because I don't know what people do. I just always go whenever I get bored. I'm at a bus station or where I'm bored. I'm like, boom, here.
You're on your phone.
News. Yeah. Okay, boom. All right. How's Crisis doing? Okay, great. All right. Oh, this piece of shit said that this Kyle, this fuck. The 90-day fiance. It's a prostitute. That fucking Benedict Cumberbatch. Like whatever it is, you could get upset about anything.
It's true, and I think that I think a lot of it's social media. And look, I don't think social media is fucking bad. I don't think it's not black and white. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of information that can be spread, and I think that's great. But there's a lot of misinformation. It's so easy to, like when DMX, speaking of DMX, a day before, everyone's like, oh my God, he died. And we're like, oh shit. And no, he's not dead. No, and that same thing happened with Tanya Roberts when she passed. The day before, it was reported that she was dead. And you're just like, I feel bad for families that are, can you imagine being like related to someone and reading on fucking Twitter that someone you care about, someone you love is dead, and then going, oh wait, no, they're fine. Or they're not fine. It hasn't happened yet. But it's fucking cruel. There's a lot of cruelty with that, and I don't fucking like it.
No.
I don't know. We talk a lot about that, right, Jess?
Yeah.
I called you Just.
There you go again.
He hates when I do
people
that.
Tweeting me. No, I love it. I hear people are tweeting me about this podcast. So they're going, Nick, DMX was amazing.
Yeah.
That's not that interesting.
I know. I don't know.
What?
I know DMX
he was amazing already. No, I didn't need the Twitter to tell me that. Okay, here's what I want to say. Where do you guys see film going now?
Okay. I'll start with where I hope. So probably not going here. I hope that we learn to embrace other films besides just the Marvels and just the DCs. And look, they have a place, and I love a lot of those movies. But I really want to see. I get excited when I see a movie like Crisis, like Promising Young Woman. Oh my God, I just get fucking stoked to see something I haven't seen before, and I get excited about that. I don't want that to go away. I don't want to fucking not be able to see those movies in theaters. That's sad. That's sad to me. Having the fucking the ArcLight shut down. Fuck. Sucks. That sucks, dude. Oh my God, right?
Horrible.
It's horrible. So that bums me out. But I hope we'll maybe find a way to somehow make sure movies still can exist, whether it's even if AMC like opens up, maybe AMC has a specialized theater, and I don't know. I hope people see the smaller films. I get excited when I see a great small film when I haven't heard of anything. I just walk into this movie and I don't know anything about it.
I remember going to the ArcLight about 10 years ago, before I made Arbitrage, maybe 12, 13 years ago, and seeing Moon, the movie by David Bowie's son, Duncan Jones. And Sam Rockwell, Moon, playing at the ArcLight, knew nothing about it, walked in, saw that movie, and I was like, this is genius! And I went back and saw it, 3 fucking times, and I was like truly inspired. And then reading about how he made it, now he had no money, and he had to build the space station. Reminded me of actually when I had seen a decade earlier Vincenzo Natali's film Cube. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Oh my God,
another genius debut. And these great voices in cinema were popping up, and the ArcLight was part of that, but the smaller theaters were part of that. But that excitement, yes, of finding the smaller film that you're talking about. Those for me, were those films. Or it was like even you could go with a Neil LaBute film, and see In the Company of Men or some fucking crazy, movie like that. Was also another way to go. So I missed that too. I don't know where that is.
Yeah.
I think it'll just kind of come and go in waves. I think that there's enough purists in both fans and filmmakers that will stay constant. There will always be that happening. And, these things like superhero movies, it's all about trends, and those are constantly changing. But these purists that, make these independent films, like that's always going to be like a more consistent dedication to their craft. And I think that the popularity of that is just kind of come and go, I think, over the course of time.
I mean, there's always going to be spectacle. There's always going to be like the fucking, I don't know. It's weird because I feel like I hate saying this because I sound like the old fuddy-duddies here. Like, I love 70s cinema, even though I was too young to really enjoy 70s cinema at that time. I watch movies like Jaws still. To me, that's a perfect movie. It's a perfect balance of fucking. Yeah, it's perfect, and it's because it's not just a blockbuster. It's a great fucking script. I mean, that script is phenomenal. Everything on that and those performances. I love that, and I feel like a lot of blockbusters kind of miss the mark when it comes to the trying to do something a little different. You follow the formula. I don't know. That drives me a little crazy, but I do see. Every so often, I don't know if did you like Blade Runner, the recent one?
I didn't watch it.
I was mixed on it personally. I mean, incredible cinematography, Deakins, and liked all the actors. Script and pacing seemed off to me. But what do I know?
Okay. Yeah, I was mesmerized. I was mesmerized by it, but it's one that I can see why I got why some people weren't like, oh my god, it's the best thing ever. Justin, I'd be interested to see what did you see the original Blade Runner, Justin?
I've been meaning. I actually have not.
Okay.
They have both of them on HBO though, and I've been meaning to do a little double feature.
It's well worth investing. Whether
I mean, the original Blade Runner is like, kill yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible.
It's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, it's Ridley Scott.
There's honestly a lot of things that I haven't seen just because it's hard for me to like sit and focus on movie as much as I love movies, but it's hard for me to like sit through one.
May I ask how old you are?
I am 27. 27.
Do you think, I wonder, because I have a younger girlfriend, I don't know if it's a crime to say, I wonder if, she's only 15 now. No, it's not true. But do people your age? Do you think the 2-hour movie is dying? Is that a thing of the past?
The 2-hour movie is dying?
I mean, like that form. To focus on that form. That typically would have been the thing Jimmy and I would have gone down to the movie theater to see and sit there with no distractions. Is that over, or is it ending? Because I see with myself, like I put on a lot of TV in the background, I do some work or do Twitter, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just like with people's attention spans, you mean?
Not, because that's sort of like a silly old man question, like, oh, the MTV generation, cut. What I mean is a little more on a fundamental level, not can people focus, but do they want to? Is this thing that you used to go in and spend 2 hours, have they decided that was stupid? People used to do a lot of stupid shit. They used to drive around on a horse and buggy, and they used to waste 2 hours in a piece of shit movie in the movie theater. So I just fucking go 5-minute YouTube clip, boom, I'm on to the next, I'm at this girl's house, I'm at this guy's house, I'm over here, I'm doing business, I bought my fucking Dogecoin. I don't need this piece of shit 2-hour movie. I think it's not worth it.
I think that I'm still old enough to be in the age range where the 2-hour movie is still very interesting. But I think that, generations younger than me, like maybe people who are teenagers now, I think that I can see that being more of the case.
Yeah. I can say I feel like YouTube, the YouTube personality, as it were, I think that's kind of, it's almost become their thing. Like when we were growing up, maybe we had Letterman or The Tonight Show or whatever. They watch, I don't know. I don't know many YouTube personalities per se, but I think a lot of people find their entertainment in that. Hell, even I'm kind of fallen into that, like watching a few of like music reaction videos I've been really into after I got tired of the care and shit. But I guess.
By the way, I wonder, because I literally sit, like I'm a sick psycho, right? So I sit on YouTube and watch all the fucking reaction videos to my movie, all the reaction videos to the trailer, every piece of shit reviewer with 3 YouTube views. I'm one of those YouTube views that watch the hundreds of fucking reaction videos for this thing. So I'm like, does that person know that because some people hated it, right? So they're like sitting there and I'm like, do they know the director's watching this being like, I hope this person gets cancer? No, I'm just kidding.
How do you feel? How do you can you not take it personally? Do you not take it personally?
The thing is, you see, what's complicated as a filmmaker is when you meet criticism. Okay, is what I learned a long time ago. It's pretty obvious. So my father used to say, but he's a doctor. He said, if 3 people tell you you're sick, lie down. So when you write a script or when you do a cut or whatever, and you give it out, if you get the same note over and over again, that's something worth paying attention to and maybe changing. So if everybody's like, I don't believe that guy would put the briefcase there, you know, he had his child's life was in the briefcase. He wouldn't leave the briefcase at the McDonald's when he went to the bathroom. You could go like, oh, guess what? That makes perfect sense. No father would leave his child's life at the table just because he had to go to the bathroom at McDonald's. He would take it with him, right? So that's the sort of, those are the ones that are easy to fix. The ones that get more complicated are when it's people aren't agreeing and it's all this diverging opinion. Oh, I like Evangeline Lilly. Oh, she's so great. It's what I prefer. She was terrible. You know, how could they tell her to do that? It's what, you know, really, you know, so when the opinions are different, then you just sort of go like, you know, okay, all right, I can't, you know, I just have to accept that was that particular individual's experience, you know, and I test these movies extensively. Not only with my friends and family, but I go like multiple steps where I have other filmmakers come into the editing room, friends and family screenings with anonymous questionnaires, and then I go and hire research companies and test the film with strangers in an audience, do anonymous comment cards, focus groups. I do all this shit. It's funny, I was for a while, you know, quite friendly with Avril Lavigne, and we were hanging out working on some musical thing while I was doing this. And I was going out to the test in wherever, and she was like, why do you even fucking bother with that test? And I was like, well, why? Don't you test stuff? She's like, yeah, the record company tests stuff. And I was like, well, what do you do? She's like, I don't know, whatever. You listen and just throw it out. Just like, you know if it's good or not. So I don't know. I'm somewhere in between. I'm kind of a data-driven guy. So I like to hear everything and then come to my own conclusion. You know, because I feel like at least that way I gave everything a voice, you know, and on a film, like really a great idea can come from anywhere, especially when you're filming. It can come from, you know, the guy sweeping the floor. That's actually happened. There's a name for that guy. His name is Paul. He's the set decorator, but like 80% of the time he's sweeping the floor. But like Paul, the set decorator, had an amazing idea for a scene that I put in the movie. One of the supporting actors had an idea for the end of Arbitrage that I changed it because of what he said at a table read. You know, my mom directs at least 5% of these movies by coming into the editing room and telling me they're boring. Hurry the fuck up. Nobody wants to watch this long shot. You know, so I think that I think the good ideas can come from anywhere. That's why I like to hear a lot of it. But so then what do you do when you meet criticism where you failed to move this or that viewer? You know, you just have to accept it. I've been pretty lucky. My films have all been well reviewed. You know, this one was not so well reviewed at the beginning and then grew over time as we exposed it to more people, you know, who weren't in the wave of hammerness of it all. And I think it will continue to grow. It always performed pretty well with audiences. You know, so I don't know. You try to learn from it as a creator. You know what I mean? You don't, because you don't want to just be stuck in your own bubble, right? You're making these films for an audience. This is a conversation. It's not a monologue. You know, why make a film if you don't want the audience reaction? I don't know totally. I mean, sometimes I appreciate those filmmakers, you know, like that are out there, like just doing their thing, like whoever the fuck that is, Leos Carax or whatever. Like, I'm sure he never wants to hear from me what I think of the film, you know. But and by the way, I like the Leos Carax movies. You know, Holy Motors. That was a great fun movie. It was. Although very slow in some places. I would have cut at least 25 fucking minutes out of it, Leos, if you're listening. But you know, so I don't know. I just know that I'm a filmmaker. I like the connection with the audience. I like them to feel satisfied and that they had a good experience. And I feel bad if I don't deliver that. And so we work and work and work. Sometimes forces are beyond your control, you know, and it's definitely, by the way, it's a very difficult thing as a filmmaker because I'm afraid I might have one of my producers listening now. I don't know, but I'm used to a tremendous amount of control. You know, I have far more control than most filmmakers. I have final cut. I choose the actors, and up until now, I've handled all the money. So, you know, if you see something you don't like in my films, it is my fault. But there are certain things that go beyond your ability to control them, such as weather, timing. I had 2 actors get sick on this movie. One had to drop out and leave the movie in the middle of filming. There's nothing I could do about that. His appendix exploded.
Oh my God.
And, you know, so, you know, wonderful actor, forgetting his name, but Sam Worthington. Sam Worthington was shot. And I had to reshoot it with someone else, who's also wonderful. But I mean, it was crazy. He just woke up one morning. He's like, mate, I don't feel well. I'm like, what's up? You up drinking too late? He's like, no, you fucking idiot. I'm sober. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, my appendix is exploding. So I don't know if I'm supposed to tell that story. Sorry, Sam, if I'm not. So this is Something Stoney. You do what you want here. That's what I've always liked about this program, and I appreciate it about you guys. But so sometimes the forces are out of your control. But I think if you look at these filmmakers that you like, and you guys seem to be pretty smart about film, and I know I've overstayed my welcome probably, but I just enjoyed it. Okay, thank you. I think, by and large, if you look at a filmmaker you like, you like their vibe. You like what they're up to. You like the theater of ideas. David O. Russell is a filmmaker I really like, and I think I like what he's up to, and then I got to know him a little bit and I liked him, and he's just as fucking crazy as his movies. You never know what you're going to get, but that's what's sort of exciting. And there's a friendly energy about that. Same thing with Tarantino, same thing with Billy Friedkin, same thing with Catherine Bigelow. Like, there are just, I don't know, these are the filmmakers that I love, or like I really love, like Kimberly Pierce. We don't see enough of her. I agree. They bring bring a certain personality to it. And that, that was the system that I came up under as a 41-year-old. The 90s, the time of the kind of individual stamp of a filmmaker. I think we've seen that go away now. We've seen some of that come back. I thought this year, great movies, Judas and the Black Messiah, that was my movie. I love that fucking movie. Oh, nice. I don't know why. I just really connected with it. I just saw City of Lies. I'm all about City of Lies. I'm all about Crisis, obviously, because I made it. But there were some very good films that I quite like. Promising Young Woman. Some of them I didn't like. I will go nameless. 40-Year-Old Version was cool. And that also had a kind of feeling of 40-Year-Old Version really had a Sundance 95 feeling to it. I don't know if that was black and white or whatever. But so there was some cool stuff this year, whatever. Like, I don't know, what are you supposed to do? Like, if you don't connect with a film, like I never, rarely, sometimes, always, everybody loved that. Everybody said it was genius. Everybody told, like, the great people I admired told me, I turned it on, watched 30, 40 minutes of it. Like, I don't know, maybe I was tired that day. I didn't click into it. Maybe I got to go back and look at it again, and by the way, sometimes that works, sometimes you do go back and look and it's different, I don't know. I feel guilty. Should I be embarrassed? No. I'm too stupid to have enjoyed that movie on the first viewing I gave.
No, I don't think you are. Look, I love that movie, and I tuned in to watch it. I saw it was available. I knew I had to put my list together for the top 10. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll watch this one. I had no expectations. I was like, wow, this is really, her performance just fucking hit me. Maybe it's because I'm a dad. I don't know. I felt real bad for her.
It didn't bother. I bring it up precisely because I know it's a good movie, and I know everybody told me it was a good movie, but I just didn't key into it for whatever reason. So if that filmmaker were watching my YouTube reaction, she might go like, "Oh no, what did I fucking do? Like, how come I didn't reach that guy?" And it's like, it's not really about the movie; it's about me wherever I was when I looked at it, and I need to look at it again.
Yeah. No, I definitely look at it again, but. That's the thing. It's like a lot of times I'll hear those raves. People are like, "Oh my gosh, you got to see this movie," and you'll go in thinking this. Okay, I'm going to have this. This is going to be my movie. Just as I had a few last year that I had heard a lot of praise for, and I'm like, they were okay. I really like Mank a lot, but I didn't. I wasn't like the. I don't think it should be Best Picture. But there was stuff in it I really dug. But I don't know.
Cypher is amazing. Her performance is
amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely. If she won, like, I would be. If I cared about the Oscars, I would be like, yeah, cool. She's amazing. But it does come down to your own personal fucking taste. If it doesn't connect you, it doesn't connect you. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I like your attitude. By the way, I like the fact that you can hear, because I think it'd be hard to fucking hear, like, watch a video of someone criticizing your movie, saying this is a piece of shit movie, but not doing anything, giving any kind of real. and you know that's there. How, dude? There's a lot of that out there. People, they that kind of shitty kind of.
It's interesting, actually. I watched last night, and there are these guys. They were double toasted. Do you know these guys? Can you hear me?
No.
They are online reviewers. You're breaking up
a little bit.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Double toasted.
Oh, that's much better.
Anyway, they're online reviewers, and they were reviewing this Rutger Hauer movie from 1989 called Blind Fury, and they were fucking trashing it. You know, they were roasting the fuck out of it, and it was hysterical because they are very funny. And, you know, it was a bunch of black guys, and they're beating up and making fun of this stupid Rutger Hauer movie that is just absolute garbage. And they're just ripping it to shreds. And, you know, listen, by the way, you know, but I mean, here's the thing, right? I'm a little bit pretentious, as Bob Dylan said, what's wrong with being pretentious? But, you know, fuck it. I'm above the people who made Blind Fury. I know that, right? I know my movies are good and they're operating in a different universe than Blind Fury, right? But these guys were fucking ripping Blind Fury apart. And I was trying not to, but I started laughing. I started cackling hysterically as Blind Fury was being ripped to shreds. But I really did feel bad for the Blind Fury filmmaker. And I was like, oh my God, there's some Blind Fury guy out there and he's getting a 0 out of these guys. And what do you do about that? I don't know. Blind Fury.
Yeah, that's a movie. It's a movie. I've seen it. It's a movie. That's the best I can say. But I'm a Rutger Hauer fan, though. So I was like, sometimes I like a movie like that. Sometimes, I loved all the fucking Friday the 13th movies, every single one of them. I don't care. I know they're not all great films, but that's okay. It's okay to like a bad movie. And maybe that's the fun. Maybe that's why you enjoy watching those guys trash a movie like that, because they're having a good time with it. They're still having a great time with the fucking movie. They just hate it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why people like that. You know?
I agree.
I don't know.
Justin, you've gone very quiet. Have you kind of gone inside your shell with the Seth Rogen weed?
Yeah, man, I gotta admit, it is very strong. That was not a joke. There's no false advertisement there.
See, this happens occasionally. We'll get to a point where, we're almost, I mean, dude, you've stuck with us the whole evening.
I really needed this. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to overstay my welcome. I've been doing so many of these buttoned up, you know, like, yes. And, you know, the numbers are falling on the opioid thing. And, you know, and so it was nice to come here and just cut loose a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Poor Chet Hanks. We pulled a Blind Fury on Chet Hanks.
Oh,
and that was mostly my fault.
I fully endorse Chet Hanks on top of that. Check out
Big up to Chet Hanks. Big up.
Woo! We'll have him on the show. Come on, Chet.
That'd be great.
Well, so I think we're almost at the end. Unless you know, Justin. I want to start with our guest tonight, Nick. Thank you so much for being on the show, being a part of it. I'm glad you connected. Yeah, seriously,
it was a pleasure. I had checked out some of the shows, so I kind of knew what you were up to, you know, and I was impressed.
Yeah.
But I was really looking forward to this, and you know, I think you guys didn't disappoint. I liked the freewheeling nature here, but it's kind of done with some intelligence. And both you guys obviously are very steeped in culture, you know, which most are not at this point, you know. So I appreciate that. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for promoting the movie and you know, and for giving it some love. I appreciate that.
That was also a very colorful review of our show, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was lovely. I'm all giddy now, dude. Well, do you want to share where people can find you? If they
Crisis
want to follow you on Twitter
is playing probably in a few drive-ins still, but it is proudly shot in 35mm film, so it looks very, very beautiful. and it is playing at anywhere you have internet access or a cable box. So if you like Amazon, if you like iTunes, who gives me a better percentage commission, if you like Vudu because you're a complete nerd and love to play your Xbox and you're not going to like this movie anyway, if you are one of the 4 people using Microsoft, or if you are on a cable box, you can check out Crisis, Crisis. It's been spelled that way for a long time. And it stars Gary Oldman, Armie Hammer, Evangeline Lilly, Michelle Rodriguez, Luke Evans, Lily Rose Depp, Greg Kinnear, Veronica Ferris, Martin Donovan, myself in a questionable cameo performance.
Oh, you're brilliant.
And thank you very much. Jimmy's been paid to say that. And it's all about the opioid crisis, and you can check it out. And we're also on Twitter or Instagram at Crisis Movie. And if you want to follow me because you haven't had enough masochistic activity yet, you can find me at Jarecki, Jarecki, and check out the movie because it's a good thriller. Like if you like any of that kind of, like, even if you don't know about Arbitrage or care about that, if you like, Billy Freakin', French Connection, Prince of the City, Serpico, Heat, it's in this realm. Maybe it's not as good as those, but it's certainly not bad. So some great performances in there from some great actors. And I'm all about the scenery chewing. I love it when Pacino comes on and she got a great ass. And so I like that in movies. There's some of that in my movie, but there's also some notes of subtlety as well. So come and check it out. And we love to hear from you. As you know, whatever you write on a comment anywhere, I'm going to find. So feel free to reach out to me through any of the bathroom walls available.
Nice. And now, Justin, where can people find you?
Oh man, you can find me on Instagram at JustinButts94, Twitter at Justin_Butts94. You can also find me on Twitch from time to time. Just getting really pissed off at video games. Justin_Butts. So that's about it.
Yeah, and of course you can find me at Joe Blow. You can find me at We Live Entertainment. You can find me on this very site with Sound Scary, and of course this show, Something Stoney. Nick, you rock, man. You rock. Hang out too, after we do the show. If you want to say hi to Elizabeth, we'll hang out for a minute.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, but of course. Well, guys, good night. Thanks again. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Good night, guys.